start. Okay. Yes, good afternoon to you all. Yes, how are you? Let me hope you are fine. Now we are going to have our lesson, but before we start, I would request I would request you to at least any one of you to give us an opening prayer. Anyone there who is willing to give us an opening prayer, please. You can put up your hand and then you bless this session. Yes, whoever is willing to bless us with an opening prayer. There is no one willing to give us a prayer. Okay, Lighton, you can please unmute.
Okay, let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this afternoon. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for this lesson that we are going to have. We ask you to send your Holy Spirit to come and guide us so that we may understand each and everything we are taught. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Lighton, for that good prayer. So, yeah, we can now start our lesson. Thank you so much. Let me share the screen here so that you people are in position to see what we are going to go through today. Okay. Okay, here we are. And as usual, we've been telling you this program is sponsored by Edify Uganda. And Edify believes that every child deserves to learn and flourish. But I always say Edify is not alone in this. Edify is actually working with a Christian School Owners Association together with ITAU, ICT Teachers Association of Uganda, and of course the government of Uganda can't be out of this. Today we are having economics, of course, by me, teacher Busuulwa Joseph, and the lesson for today is about labor as a factor of production. Okay, we are going to look at labor as a factor of production. Remember, we are looking at factors of production, and we are also going to look at labor as we have looked at capital, we've looked at entrepreneurship, we've looked at land. We now need to look at labor as a factor of production. Now, before, of course, we look at labor, we need to know what is labor. Now, I would like to hear from you there. The meaning of labor, the definition of labor. Who can actually define it for us? Okay, Caroline, unmute.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, teacher.
Yes, please.
Now, labor refers to any mental or physical human effort directed towards the production of goods and services.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. May I hear from another person? Benjamin.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Yes.
Labor refers to the human effort, both physical and mental, that contributes to the production process.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Let me also hear from. Okay, you've gone. Okay. Okay. Here. Okay, Isaiah. You can unmute yourself.
Let me check it out. Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm good, fine, and thank you. Teacher, labor refers to both physical and mental effort that is directed towards the production process.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Penelope.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
Labor is defined as human effort, both mental and physical, directed towards the production of goods and services to satisfy human needs.
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, all people that have contributed there have actually got it right. Okay, you've got it right. Your definition is actually the right definition that we need. And here we are, that it refers, okay, let me see. Okay, Cyrus said labor economics, study of the labor force as an element. Okay, Cyrus, your definition lacks something. Okay, here is our definition, that this refers to efforts, both mental and physical. Yes, that is where we are. Efforts, both mental and physical, directed towards the production of goods and services. Once the efforts are mental and physical, the combination of the two, okay, defines labor. The efforts have got to be physical and mental, and they are supposed to be directed towards the production of goods and services. Okay. Now, okay, labor also has a reward. Okay, labor has a reward, and we are saying the reward for labor, the reward to labor for the services rendered in the process of production is wage or salary. Now, there is a question there. There is wage and again salary. Is there any difference between wage and salary? Anyone who knows whether there is a difference between wage and salary? Is there any difference between the two? Okay, Wesonga.
Good morning, teacher.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Okay, a wage is the amount of labor paid. Sorry, it's the amount of money paid to labor.
Yes.
Over a certain period of time. Then,
Yes.
like a number of hours. Then salary. Then salary is the money given to the labor when. Sorry, it's the money given to labor after working for a month.
After working for a month. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, you had a point. You had a point. Now, okay, Sharon. Sharon, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Good morning, teacher.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. Now, teacher, I think wage is paid after every piece of work.
Okay.
And then salary is paid after a specified period of time.
Yes. Yes, actually. Okay. Yes, you've got a point. You've got a point. Now, for a salary, that one is paid after a specified period of time, most especially a month, or it can be weekly, okay, but after a specified period of time. But a wage can even be paid instantly after a certain piece of work has been done. Are you getting it? Like after, for example, there is what we call piece rate. After a certain piece of work has been done, then someone is paid. That is what we call a wage. So the difference is there, but they are all payments to labor. Okay. So I think we have simplified that. Now let us look at something else here. Okay. Now we are going to look at features of labor. Features of labor. Before, of course, I give you what I have, I would like to hear from you. Features of labor. Features of labor. Lighton.
Labor is both geographically and occupationally mobile.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lighton. Okay. Okay. Bridget.
Labor is human and cannot be separated from the owner.
Labor is human.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I've heard. I've heard. Labor is human and it can't be separated from the owner. Okay. Let me first hear from other people. Edgar. Edgar?
Yes. Labor effort cannot be stored.
Cannot be? Sorry?
Cannot be stored.
Cannot be stored. Yes. Yes. Thank you for that. Penelope.
Labor earns wage or salary as its monetary reward for its contribution to the production process.
You said labor earns a reward, eh? Is that what you said?
Yeah, labor earns wage or salary as its reward towards the production process.
Okay. Labor earns a wage or salary after producing or production. All right. Melissa. Melissa, you can unmute.
Demand for labor is derived demand.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Demand for labor is derived demand. That is true. Okay, because it is actually demanded. It is demanded simply because there are certain goods that we would like a labor to produce. So it is as a result of the demand of a certain commodity. Therefore, demand for labor is derived demand. Cyrus.
Labor is flexible.
Labor is flexible. Yes, labor is geographically and occupationally mobile. All right, that is what it is all about. Okay, Lighton.
The productivity of labor is variable.
Is variable.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, of course, the productivity varies depending. Then Sharon.
Labor cannot be stored.
Sorry, cannot be?
Stored.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you so much. Whoever has contributed, thank you so much. Most of the features, you've given them to us. Thank you so much. Labor involves human beings. Of course, yes. Okay. You can't actually have labor involving, okay, Silas said, no. Joy said, can I say it's paid before? It gets a reward. Okay, so we said labor involves human beings. That is true. We may not have a lot of explanation there. Then we are saying labor is not similar in terms of experience, knowledge, and skills. This is what someone said, that it's variable. Are you getting it? It varies. Labor is not similar. You will never find another. Let me use this example. You will never find another teacher of Busuulwa. Are you getting it? Yes, there is a teacher of economics somewhere, but he cannot deliver the way Busuulwa delivers. The explanations will, of course, differ. Are you getting the point? You can't find another Busuulwa. There is only one Busuulwa. Though in the names, of course, we are so many, but the way we deliver is automatically different. That is why we say labor is different. It's not similar in terms of experience, knowledge, and skills. There is this other point here, that it can't be stored. Yes, someone has given us this point. It can't be stored, but rather becomes wasted once stored. That is it. It becomes wasted once stored. So labor has got to be involved in the production process, okay? There is this other one here, that it has derived demand. Someone gave us this point. It arises out of demand for products that it produces, okay? So it has derived demand, right? We have already talked about that. There is this one here. It is both geographically and occupationally mobile, indeed. Geographically mobile, meaning labor can move from one place to the other. Occupationally, labor can move from one occupation to another. Are you getting it? So it is occupational and geographically mobile. Then it's rewarded with either salary or wage. And again, this one was given, okay? It is rewarded with either salary or wage. Benjamin says it can be separated from laborers. I have not got you. Okay. Labor is either non-productive or productive. No one mentioned this. Labor is either non-productive or productive. There is labor that does not produce for market, and that is non-productive labor. And again, there is also labor that produces for what? For market. Okay. Okay, here we are. We want to know the non-productive labor, okay? One or two people, the meaning of non-productive labor. One or two people, who knows? Okay, but I've already talked about it by now. I've already defined it. Okay, Lighton.
Non-productive labor refers to labor that does not produce any goods and services.
That does not produce, sorry?
Non-productive labor, non-productive labor refers to labor that does not produce any goods and services.
Oh, that does not produce any goods and services. Any other? Any other? Okay, without wasting time. Okay, without wasting time. When we talk about non-productive labor, we are talking about labor that produces goods that have got no market value. But it does not mean that they are not involved in the production. They are, but their goods they produce are the goods don't have a market value. Okay. So here we are saying that it is one that engages in production of output that has no market value. I think you've seen. Okay. Yes, there is a production, but what one is producing has got no market value. Yet productive labor. This one, who knows? And it is so simple. Okay. Without wasting time. Of course, here we are talking about now. Okay, let me see. Okay, I saw a hand. I saw a hand, and this is Caroline. Okay, Caroline, can unmute.
Productive labor refers to the labor which engages in the production of goods and services, and it is paid for that.
Sorry, the last statement, words I've not heard very well. And it does what?
And it's paid.
Okay, and it's paid. Okay. Then Michael. Michael, you can unmute.
Productive labor is one that engages in production of output that have market value.
Okay, goods that have got a market value, yes. And of course, it is these goods that are sold, and then the returns are used to pay off labor. Thank you. Here we are. That it's one that engages in production of goods and services that have market value, and it is such output which is traded in order to raise returns, raise the returns on which labor is rewarded. Okay, here we are. Productive labor is also categorized into unskilled and semi-skilled labor. Unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled labor. Okay, productive labor. We are not looking at non-productive, but productive labor, we are saying is categorized into unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled labor. We are beginning with unskilled. Okay, who knows the meaning of unskilled labor? Who knows the meaning of unskilled labor? Brandy.
Unskilled labor refers to the type of labor which has not yet acquired any specific or special skills through education and training.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I may not look at other people. Yes, that is it. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So Brand has given us the answer, and we are saying it refers to labor that has not yet undergone training and lacks expertise and experience in the production of goods and services. Are you getting it? There is no expertise, there is no nothing. You understand it? Someone doesn't have any skill in the production of goods and services. That is what we call unskilled labor. There is also semi-skilled labor. Waiting for someone who knows semi-skilled labor. Semi-skilled labor. Okay, okay. But of course, semi-skilled labor that has got a few skills. So here we are saying it is one with little experience and expertise in the production of a particular good or service. Then you also have skilled labor. Who knows skilled labor? The opposite of the first statement. The opposite of unskilled. Okay, okay, without wasting time, let us look at that. We are saying it is one that has undergone training and has rich experience in a particular field of production. Okay, it has undergone training and has rich experience in a particular field of production. That is what we mean by a skilled labor. Now, we are saying labor is more important in production because it makes other factors productive. I think you've seen that in note. Labor is more important in production. Why do we say it is more important in production? It makes other factors of production productive, meaning that without labor, other factors of production will remain unproductive. Okay? Entrepreneurship as a factor of production is also derived from labor. Are you getting it? Yeah, one would say, what about entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship makes other factors, but it is also derived from labor. Okay? Okay, yes, there is this one now. Concept C associated with the labor. We would like to know of the concept C associated with the labor. There is this one here, labor supply. Who can define for us labor supply? Anyone who can define for us labor supply? Okay, I have Amy. You can unmute.
Labor is the number of hours. Labor supply is the number of hours labor is willing to work for a given wage rate at a given period of time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That is one definition, of course. The number of hours a worker is willing to supply at a given period of wage rate in a given period of time. That is one of them. But there is another definition There is another one. Who knows? Let me see from the chat. Someone said this is Benjamin, the number of hours worked. Okay. Can I say it is the offering of labor? The term, the language you've used. Okay, the language is not okay. All right. Then I have Edgar. You can unmute.
Is the number of people willing and able to work at a given wage rate and at a given period of time.
That is the other one I was waiting for. Okay, the number of people, okay, that are willing to work at a given wage rate in a given period of time. Thank you. We have already seen that now. Here we are. Number of hours an individual is willing to dedicate to work at a given wage rate in a given period of time. Okay. Without wasting time, there is also this one here that I was waiting for. That number of people who are willing to offer themselves for work at a given wage rate in a given period. Okay. So we have said that it also refers to the number of people who are willing to offer themselves for work at a given wage rate in a given period of time. Therefore, we are going to look at the next subtopic we are going to be looking at. We will be focusing on these two definitions. The explanation is going to focus on these two definitions. Okay. Okay, now here we are. Factors that determine labor supply. Now the explanation is going to be majorly focusing on the two definitions. Okay, on the two definitions. Okay, we are looking at factors that determine labor supply. And there is what we call a political climate. Okay, I've given you this, but you are going to also contribute. But I've already given you this one here. So we are talking about the political climate, right? And of course, a stable political atmosphere ensures the safety of life and the property of workers, which attracts more to dedicate efforts to work, thus high labor supply. And vice versa to a political situation that is not stable. I always use these words vice versa when explaining, but I remember telling you that when you are writing your exam, please avoid the vice versa word. You avoid that word. Instead of writing there vice versa, you bring what you mean by the word vice versa. Okay. But me, in the interest of time, I always use it here in my explanation, but avoid it when answering. Okay. All right. Now I'm waiting for another factor from you. Another factors, remember we are looking at factors that determine labor supply. What makes workers to offer, to supply, to work for long hours, or I have Daisy. Daisy, unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon. Hello? How are you? Yes, I can hear you.
Working conditions.
Okay, working conditions. Any explanation?
Yes. Good working conditions lead to high productivity and efficiency because they motivate the producer to produce more, while poor working conditions lead to low productivity and efficiency because the workers might demonstrate, leading to low output.
Okay, yes, that one is a good point and a good explanation too. Okay, I may not repeat because we don't have time and I prepared a lot for you. I have Bob.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
The wage rate. A high wage rate A high wage rate encourages labor to work efficiently, and a low wage rate discourages labor to work efficiently.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And of course, once the wage is high, then we expect workers to supply more hours of work. And once the wages are low, vice versa will happen. Okay, Penelope.
Level of technology.
The level of technology, yes. Any explanation there?
High level of technology leads to high supply of labor and efficiency because work is done in a short time, while low level of technology leads to low supply of labor and inefficiency because work is done for a long period of time.
Oh, okay. You've heard from Emmeline.
The population growth rate. When the population is high, there's a high labor supply. And when the population is low, labor supply is also low.
Okay, population. Now there is one thing I will actually advise you here. When the question is not speculative, avoid using statements that are speculative when explaining. For example, when the population is high, you are now speculating. That is why we normally discourage that. You might end up losing when you are speculative, when the question was not speculative. You only give speculative terms or words when the question was also speculative. Questions like under what circumstances may, then you bring in when if. Okay. I have Isaiah.
Yes, teacher. I'll be talking about training period. A long training period leads to a low labor supply because the workers lose many hours or years while undergoing training. Yes. However, a short training period leads to a high labor supply because it enables workers to leave school early and immediately start working.
Yes, thank you so much for that wonderful explanation. Okay, that was a wonderful explanation of that point, and I'm not adding anything. Isabella. Isabella?
Health, good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Health conditions of workers.
Yes.
Better health conditions of workers result into high labor supply because such workers are active and work for long hours. However, poor health conditions of workers result into low labor supply because such labor are not active and sometimes miss work.
Yes, thank you so much. You people, you are wonderful. Thank you so much. Joy. Joy? Joy, you can unmute yourself. Okay, I think Joy has issues. Then Sharon. Oh, yeah. A moment. Sharon, a moment. Okay, Joy. Joy? Joy? Oh, okay. Sharon. Sorry for that, Sharon, but you can now give us your contribution. Unmute.
It's okay, teacher. The structure of the population.
Okay.
The structure of the population.
Yes.
A population that is composed of many people below 18 years and all composed of old people and many full-time students has low labor supply.
Yes.
Because of a small size of labor force.
Yes.
On the other hand, a population that is composed of many people between 18 to 64 years with limited number of time students has high labor supply due to a big size of labor force.
Yes. Thank you so much. You people, you've heard from these people. I don't have to add anything. Superb. Thank you so much. Michael, you can unmute yourself.
The working conditions for the labor, working conditions that are favorable lead to high motivation in labor, hence high labor supply, while working conditions that are poor lead to low labor supply due to low motivation of labor.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Melissa.
The strength of trade unions.
Yes.
Strong trade unions create a conducive environment for the workers to supply effort, which consequently leads to high labor supply, while low or poor trade unions leads to workers not being paid well and poor conditions, which are unfavorable, leading to low labor supply.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Daisy. Daisy?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Quality of management and supervision.
Yes.
The better the supervision, the higher the productivity and efficiency of labor, because employees perform their tasks as required with minimal dodging.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that one is also another good point. Isaiah?
Yes, teacher, there is this point that could seem unequal to most ladies. I don't know if it could be true, but I've just thought about it. It's the sex composition of the population. Having more females than males leads to a lower labor supply because, as you know, females are physically weaker compared to males. And in addition to that, females spend more time doing domestic work.
Yes.
And then, on the other hand, having more males than females leads to a high labor supply. Reason being, males are physically stronger than females and have less of domestic work to accomplish.
Yes. Actually, that is true. Thank you so much for that. And there is one thing you've left out when explaining. Women in most cases get what we call maternity leave. And then all that time is, I can say, in quotes, wasted. Okay. Okay. Kasirie. And the last one is Kasirie for now. Kasirie Deo.
Yes, teacher. I have attitude towards work.
Yes, please.
See that positive attitude towards work motivates labor to work, motivates laborers to work for more hours, hence high supply of labor, while negative attitude towards work demotivates the workers to work for less hours, leading to low supply of labor.
Yes. Thank you so much. Whoever has contributed, thank you so much. In the interest of time, let me try to rush. But the points that have been explained, I am not going to repeat the explanation because we don't have time and we have a lot to look at. Size of wage rate, this one was explained by someone. And you can see a high wage rate paid to labor motivates workers to dedicate more hours to work to enjoy extra wages and vice versa. We are not wasting time there. We have this other point here, population size. Someone talked about this point, okay? A high population size implies bigger number of people available for work, thus high labor supply. And the reverse, is true. We have this other point here, nature of the job, okay? High-risk jobs discourage people from subscribing to work for more hours for fear of hazards that come with the job, which limits labor supply. However, low-risk jobs encourage labor to dedicate more efforts to work, thus high labor supply. There is this one here, people's attitude towards work. Actually, is the last point someone has just explained, okay? A positive attitude towards work encourages labor to dedicate more hours to work, thus high labor supply, and the reverse is true. We have this one here, healthy and working conditions of labor. Someone gave this point and explained it very well, that labor which is physical and mentally fit is able to work for more hours, thus high labor supply and vice versa. Okay. Remember, I've told you I'm only using the word vice versa here just in the interest of time, but please avoid that when writing exams. The nature of working conditions. Of course, nature, better working conditions such as meals provided at work, transport allowances, and other fringe benefits motivate labor to dedicate more efforts to work, thus high labor supply, and the reverse is true that side, okay? There is also this one here, influence of trade unions, okay? Influence of trade unions. Of course, someone gave this point and explained it very well. So stringent policies put in place by workers' associations restricting the number of people to join their association or profession lowers labor supply, and the reverse is true. Okay. Government policy on labor. Government policy on labor. So we are talking of again stringent government policies of restricting hours that labor should dedicate to work. E.g., institution of curfew, which limits hours labor should work, leads to low labor supply. Of course, some people are now using it to that word curfew. Once government comes up and then says, no, there is no one that should be working beyond 7 p.m., automatically people who would have worked at night are not going to work. That limits in the hours labor would supply for work. There is this one here, influence of culture and religion. Influence of culture and religion. No one talked about this one here. But we are saying a high level of attachment to culture and religion limits labor from dedicating more efforts to some categories of work, thus limiting labor supply. Yet low attachment to culture and religion induces labor to dedicate more efforts to work, thus high labor supply. Here, look at people who, people who, people who are so much attached to religion. They will have to have some time for worshiping, and once one is not working, is in a worshiping place, then that time there, is wasted in as far as working is concerned. Okay, I have added that in as far as work is concerned. You understand? But of course, I'm not saying it is wasted. No, like the other side, it is not wasted because worshiping is also good. Okay, but we are saying in as far as work is concerned, that time is wasted. Okay, and of course, the reverse is true to a society that is not so much attached to a certain culture or something or customs. Okay. We also have this point, the training period of labor. Someone explained this point very, very well. Okay, the training period. Once it is too long, then automatically we'll have very few people to work and the labor supply will be low. And then the reverse is true for a short period of training. Level of education and training, yes. A high level of education and training implies a bigger number of people with the capacity to participate in productive work. That's high labor supply. And we are saying low level of education and training implies a smaller number of people with ability to indulge in productive work. Now we have based this explanation on the number of people willing to offer themselves for work. Remember, I told you when explaining these points, we either look at the number of hours supplied or the number of people offering themselves for work. Okay. There is this other point here, level of migration. When so many people are coming into the country, then labor supply will be high. That is now again number of people offering themselves for work. But again, when we have a bigger number of people living in the country, then labor supply will be low. Okay. Now there is a note. We are saying that the labor supply curve is regressive, i.e., it does not conform to the law of supply. Now, who knows the law of supply? I would like to hear from you. The law of supply, who knows? The law of supply, anyone who knows that law? You see, in economics, we've got so many laws. Lighten.
The law of supply states that the higher the price of a commodity, the higher the quantity supplied, and the lower the price of a commodity, the lower the quantity supplied, holding all other factors constant.
Holding all other factors constant, or in Latin, in Latin we could say ceteris paribus. Yes, in Latin, ceteris paribus. Okay, we are saying that the law of supply. Of course, we are looking at a high price encourages a supplier to supply more. Are you getting it? But here we are saying that the labor supply curve of labor is regressive, meaning that it operates in a vice versa way in as far as the law of supply. Now here we are saying that you might find a worker supplying less hours with a high wage. Are you getting it? That is what we are trying to mean, that the labor supply curve is regressive. Okay. So you can look at this, that the number of hours dedicated to work increase with increase in wage rate up to a certain point, beyond which any increase in the wage rate induces labor to reduce the number of hours labor subscribes to work. Are you seeing? In the initial stages, we might have hours of work increasing with an increase in the wage rate. But the wage rate at a certain point, the hours supplied at a certain point will instead reduce as wages are rising. So we will end up getting what we call a backward bending supply curve. Okay, backward bending supply curve. So here we are. Here we are. This is what we call a backward bending supply curve or a regressive supply curve for labor. If you can look at this curve here, at wage rate W1, the number of hours worked were L1. I think you can see. Now, when the wage increased from W1 to W2, okay, from W1 to W2, the number of hours supplied towards work increased from L1 to L2. I think you are seeing that. Now, beyond the wage W2, i.e., from wage W2 to wage W3, when wages increased from W2 to W3, the work instead, the labor instead reduced the hours, okay, supplied for work to L3. You can see from L2 to L3. You understand? And we have so many reasons why that happens. Okay, so many reasons why that. Okay. So from here now, let us try to look at this. We have seen the curve, and we want to know why. We want to know why the supply curve for labor is regressive. Why the supply curve for labor does not conform to the law of supply. Okay, I've given you one, but I also hear from you. Here we are saying preference for leisure to work by labor. We are saying labor is given more money. Now, instead, this laborer will use this money to enjoy leisure. Are you seeing? This worker is given a wage W3 according to our curve, and the worker now has excess money, which money is going to be used for leisure. So that time when one is enjoying leisure is not actually supplied towards work. So that brings about a backward bending supply curve. Benjamin has also given me this one, progressive taxation. Yes, progressive taxation. People will say, the more you work, the more taxes you pay. Why should I work for more? Okay. All right. Any other? Benjamin has given me progressive taxation. I wanted to know whether people know why the supply curve of labor is regressive. Okay. We may not waste a lot of time there because we don't even have it. Sorry. Presence of target workers. Presence of target workers. There are those people that say, the moment I am paid, say, $1 million a month, that is enough for me. A million is enough for me. Now, once this person is given more money, say 2 million a month, this person will say, after all, 1 million was enough. And now they are giving me 2. Why should I work for more? Are you getting it? So instead, this person will reduce the hours supplied for work because he had a target of getting only 1 million. Those are what we call target workers. So the more wage one is given, the less hours one is supplying towards work. Then we have political instabilities. Okay, let me first see from the chart. Okay, culture belief, that is from Cyrus. That definition of labor. Okay, I think Brandy wanted to know more about progressive taxation. We are talking about more taxes as one gets more money, like more income, more taxes, more wages, more taxes. Are you getting it? Then a worker will actually find it useless to keep on working, yet all of the money is actually taken in taxes. Are you getting it? That is why one will be supplying less hours as is getting more money. I think I've tried to explain that for you who wanted to know more about progressive taxation. Then Benjamin talks about high rate of inflation. Very true. High rate of inflation. True. Then presence of organizational. This is from Michael. Presence of organizational production. Michael, I have not got to the point very well. Okay. Political instabilities in some areas. Okay. Okay, let me see. Poor quality of management and supervision of labor at work. Yes. Okay, that is from Penlo. Now we were looking at political instabilities. Yeah, you may find someone being given a lot of money, and this person ends up working for a few hours and then goes away. Why? Because someone is not so sure of the political situation. So someone is given more money, but is supplying very few hours towards work because he or she is trying to look for a safe place elsewhere and then ends up supplying very little hours towards work. Then Isabella says, Pardon on Benjamin's answer. About progressive taxation. I don't know if it was about progressive taxation. Isabella, which point exactly? Which point exactly? High rate of inflation. Okay, high rate of inflation. Now, high rate of inflation. Now, a work will be getting more money, which man actually will be buying very few goods. Are you getting it? Meaning that the more money someone gets, the fewer the goods he buys. So it will be useless for this person to keep on working for so many hours because money has lost value. One is given more money, but the money he or she is given purchases very few goods. So you will end up seeing people being paid more money and supplying very few hours towards, or dedicating very few hours towards work. So I think I've also answered that. There is this one, existence of progressive tax. I've explained that one already. Reduction in real incomes due to inflation. This is what I just explained. Benjamin gave us that point of inflation. Okay. So we are now, unless someone was okay. So we have come to the end of this lesson, and it was our lesson 4. But again, before we leave this, before we get out of this classroom, I have this question. I'm going to have it put in the Google Classroom. So try to work it out. Very simple, you can see. Try to work it out and then return the work for marking. Now, this program or this lesson has been made possible with the funding from Edify Uganda. So yes, Edify Uganda is doing such a great work to see that this program goes on. Okay, then funded by Edify, organized by Christian School Owners Association, then implemented by ITAU, which is ICT Teachers Association of Uganda. So unless someone has got something to ask, we've come to the end of this lesson. Daisy, yes, you can unmute yourself.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Hello, teacher. You said how do we send the answers to the question?
How
like
do you
for marking? Like how do you send
Oh.
the answers to the questions after the the assignment?
Now, I saw in our WhatsApp group, Mr. Bernard posted there a short video directing you on how you can submit work in the Google Classroom.
Teacher, excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
I think I'm not in the WhatsApp group. For me, I got it from my teacher at Buranyanji Girls, so I just joined, so I'm not really certain about the group. So I don't think I'm in the group.
Now, are you seeing this part where I've put my cursor? Are you seeing my cursor here? Okay, a moment. Are you seeing this organized by?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Now, what you do, you visit this, okay? When you visit this, you will actually get all that you need. Are you getting it?
Okay, okay,
Yes,
teacher.
you will find the link for joining the WhatsApp. You will find the link for joining the Google Classroom. Everything is actually found here. Christian School Owners Association. Or
okay, teacher.
Okay, www.naksu.org. Okay.
Yeah, teacher, I get.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
You are welcome. Okay. In the interest of time, you people we are supposed to end by exactly 1:05, which is the time now. Michael, anything that is burning?
Yes, teacher, where do we see in the Google Classroom the marked work?
The marked work. You just go back to your email. It is returned in your email. Okay?
Yes.
You go to your email, you'll find it there.
All right.
Yes. Sharon?
Teacher, thanks for the lesson.
You are welcome. Okay. I think Cyrus doesn't have anything to say.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have submitted in my works, but I have just only received one which is marked.
Okay. Today I will also send you other the work that is done. I'll mark it and send it. Okay.
Okay, dear. Thanks you for the lesson.
You are welcome. Okay. Okay. Mr. Bernard, I think I will come to the end of this lesson. Okay.